If you use FL Studio and you're not sure how to unlock the true power of FL Studio, this video is for you. If you don't know me, I'm Game from BusyWorksBeats.com. I need you to smash that like button to extend that S in the enthusiasm for today. We've trained over 1 million producers around the world. Some have gone to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, Polo G, Trippie Redd, Lil Baby, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, a long list of folks. And I'm going to show you guys how to unlock the power of FL Studio plugins and features. Let's hop straight into FL Studio and get straight to it. So you guys ask me to show you guys Citrus all the time, so I'll pull Citrus up. It is probably one of the most complex plugins in FL Studio. It's called FM Synthesis, and it's very complex. I'll show you guys a couple things here, but let's switch that to default. Next plugin that's slept on, it's called Toxic Biohazard. Super slept on. People don't even know it has a sequencer here on this tab. Another plugin that's super fire, it's called Morphine. This one is just really good. I explained how to use that in a different video, but it's not worth like re-explaining that. Because it's really just, I would choose presets on that one. And lastly, where's that log drum? I think it's called Fruity DX10. X-Dizzle put me onto this. There's a preset called the log drum, and they use that a lot in Amapiano, I believe he said. Okay, so let's start with the chords. You know, I'm not going to make an entire beat here, but I just want to show you guys how far you can take it. So firstly, let's go to Toxic Biohazard. This sound is really good. Keyboard sounds, lead sounds, bass sounds. It's just really like a weird plugin that sounds good. Let's just start right at the top. Forgot to turn off my keyboard. All right, so let's come up with some chords here, and then I'll swap out the sounds. All right, so now we have our chords. Now we can swap out the sound. So that sounds very basic. That sound is very basic. Okay, because it's just stacking sine waves. But now let's take it up a notch by going through these sounds here. Pull this up an octave just to see. I'm hitting Control L to make these notes filled out. Pretty strong sound. Now, you know, I might tweak the sound by using the FM area here. Now, to me, this is an easier to understand FM synth than Citrus. But long story short, you have different operators. Operators work in a matrix to modulate one another. So here we have oscillator 1, that's operator 1 in this case. And we can modulate operator 1 by operator 2 using this, you know, 2 to 1 or 1 to 2. So, you know, let's self-modulate. Now, the more you modulate a sound, usually the more harmonic content you get, the more noisy it sounds or the more buzzy it's going to sound. Now you guys can feel that frequency almost in the middle of your head. Let me show you guys some FL Studio stuff you probably didn't know. I learned this from Synthit. Basically, you can pitch bend individual notes. So if you double click a note, go to color, switch this to a different MIDI channel, which changes its color in this case. Not to be confused with coloring of your notes. MIDI channels are very different, so be careful with this. Hit shift. And now we're going to, my technique is to pull the note down 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Double click on the note, make it a slide note. So only the pink note will slide to the other pink note. So it's a really unique way to add pitch bends inside of your chords without affecting the rest of the chord. Now here's a more advanced technique. Let's say you want to pitch bend everything. My technique is to add a note 2 notes up, grab the slide tool and slide it for, a very fast time like this, and then transpose everything down to 1, 2, hitting shift down. And now you have like a pitch bend. So make sure it's 2 notes up from wherever you are. I just realized it only pitch bend that first. Okay. It's a little confusing because you have to target individual chords. So that would be a dope sound for me. We could widen it out with some chorus. We could add a sequencer here. Now the sequencer will make this more melodic, and it works in semitone values. So positive values are, going up the keyboard. Negative values go down the keyboard. We have to turn it on. See, it only plays, if we have the sequencer on, it only plays the notes in the sequence. In that case, it won't let us play the chords. We can also pan different, voices left and right. Now we have a stronger signal. Now it feels big. So, just off of that alone, we got that to sound really powerful. Let's take that, let's take the bass lines here. Let's double these up in Citrus here. Let's paste these notes into Citrus. I'm going to move really quick through Citrus because it's just too much to explain. Basically, we're going to modulate operators by operators in a matrix form. And where are we here? Okay, so let's say I want more grit on the sound. I can modulate operator 2 by 1, so it creates more harmonics. Oh, you know what? This bass is playing the wrong note because it's down 2. There we go. So basically I can create sine wave modulation using frequency modulation of operator 2 over 1 here. And that's what creates that like didgeridoo sound. The more you push. And you can also give that an envelope with the volume envelope here. We're not going to get too dense with this, but you can give it an envelope. So now it goes like, wow, like that. And you can have what's called, I believe, where is it at here? Yeah. In FM8, I'm thinking of a different synth here. Also, you can add a little, detuning with the frequency offset here. It's hard to hear that when it's modulating another sound though. But if we were to have 2 voices, you could have operator 2 have its output. So now you have 2 sounds. And then we can modulate 2 by 2. Let's take off this envelope. When you modulate a sine wave by a sine wave over time, it gets more buzzy. So let's do that. And I want to pan, I forget how to pan this stuff. Here's a pan, oh, here it is. So now I have operator 1 to the left, operator 2 to the right. And then I can offset them with the frequency offset. And detune them to make them feel even wider apart. The further I detune, the more it's going to sound like a respace. Then we can override. We don't have to do these directly out. We could tell operator 1 and 2 to run through filter 1, and then filter 1 can have an output. So filter 1 we could set here. Again, it's too much to teach about Citrus. It's just way too complicated. If you want to learn frequency modulation, I recommend FM8 from Native Instruments. They have the best built frequency modulator plugin in my opinion. That's a lot easier to understand. Interface is a little more put together. Let's add some effects on there. By default, it's a course. We can go to the cog icon, turn on what's called portamento and monophonic mode. So basically we can overlap notes just a little bit to make them pitch bend. Based on the slide amount here, that determines how fast they pitch bend. Let's add some sounds from the Morpheme plugin. Now this one's really good for, has some really good keyboard sounds in here, like the Crystal EP. Let's just stack a harmony here. We don't want to get too crazy with the chords. Then we can add chorus right on the front panel. Let's mess with the log drum here. I'm just going to push this a little bit. So I'm going to do more of an EDM rhythm. Dum, 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 dum. Okay, so I'm just doing this by ear. Again, we're not trying to make the greatest beat here. I'm just showing you guys. So I'd say we can make pretty cool sounds in FL. Just got to know how to get here though. And that's the problem I have, is that you have to know a lot to get it to sound good. And that's why I don't normally recommend FL plugins, but they can do stuff that other plugins can't because of the unique pitch bend effects that we get to use in the piano roll. You know, there's a lot of things, image line stuff kind of built inside of FL that you can't do with third-party stuff very easily. So I mean, as far as stock sounds, it's pretty good. Now the drums, I can't say you get good stock drums though. They're working on it with FL Cloud, but you know, those are stock plugins for you guys. I don't want to make this video like 30 minutes long. Subscribe if you're new. If you want to learn how to use FL Studio, we have a free FL Studio course. Just go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. Subscribe if you're new. Peace out, guys.